What is FOMO? Why do we have FOMO? The fear of missing out. In this video, I'll explain what that actually means for us, why we have it, and a few ways to break out of it for ourselves. So sit tight, we'll get into it right now. Welcome back to another video. I'm Jen Palco. FOMO is the name of the game today. We're going to talk about it a lot. I have FOMO, the fear of missing out. A lot of other people do, and this is something that that becomes an issue for a lot of us in our lives because it is something that is very common, and it's something that doesn't feel good to us because we always feel like we're lacking something. So how do we get past it? How do we move past it? That's what we're going to that's what I'm going to run you through today. If you guys have not done so, please subscribe to my channel below if you want to. I put out videos every single morning on all kinds of neat topics, some helpful hints. My intention is to provide value to you. And like this video, share it if you'd like as well. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, so the fear of missing out. So basically what this is we have this general sense that we are excluded from some sort of activity or something that somebody is doing, a friend of ours or a significant other, and we have this general fear that we are missing out on something very important or we're going to miss something very big. We have FOMO for three main reasons. The first one is we want to feel included. We want to feel included because that's just our human nature. So if you look at it from a deeper aspect, then what it really boils down to is we want to be loved and accepted. And basically, when we are excluded from something or somebody leaves us out of something, it comes down to those feelings of feeling unloved or unaccepted. So this can go back to our childhood or when we were in school and, our group of friends or somebody left us out of something or didn't invite us to a party, or even our parents, if we felt like they gave more attention to our brother or sister, or a significant other goes out with their coworkers and doesn't invite us, there's a lot of reasons why we feel this way. But when it comes down to it, it comes down to the level of love and us not feeling loved and accepted. The second reason, this it kind of goes along with the first, but we feel jealous. We feel jealous that people are doing things without us and you're going to miss something big. You're going to miss something that's happening. And then the third reason is we're scared to be alone with ourselves. We're scared of feeling isolated. As humans, we want human connection with other people. So when we're not invited or excluded from something and we don't get that, not only do we feel unloved, but we're a little scared to be alone with ourselves, with our own thoughts, and we feel isolated in a way, which does not feel good for humankind. So we not only feel insecure, but we also feel like we can't occupy ourselves or sit home alone with our own thoughts. And we feel like we're a loser for sitting home on a Friday night or not going out on New Year's with everybody else drinking. And it becomes this habitual thinking that we have that we always need to be doing something, or we just can't be alone with ourselves if other people are doing things around us. So how do you get around FOMO? Well, I'll give you three ways. The first way is to identify, first of all, what are you actually missing out on? And did you really, really, really want to do this anyway? Is it really that important? See, when you look at it, not just the overall superficial aspect of it, sometimes you realize that you didn't really want to do this. You didn't really want to go out and drink with your friends. You'd rather stay home and sleep, or you're not missing anything big other than a hangover or that annoying coworker who you hate to listen to or something like that. So realize that a lot of times you place a lot of importance on this thing or this activity that other people are doing because it's ingrained in you. It's just how you are trained to think. So identify if this is something that you'll actually miss and, play it. It's not that important, probably. The second thing is to learn to be okay with being with yourself and your own thoughts, and learn to love being alone. Learn to love being alone and going on dates with yourself and get comfortable with it. See, a lot of times we are uncomfortable being with ourselves. And that can be for a number of reasons. It can be, stemming from childhood, or again, feeling isolated, or again, we feel like being alone equals being an outcast in society, and we don't want to be an outcast in society. We don't want to look abnormal because we're sitting home on a Saturday night or anything like that. So you have to retrain yourself and learn to be okay being with you. See, a lot of times we get addicted to FOMO. We get addicted to this fear of missing out. We get addicted to feeling like we judge ourselves and we think we're a loser because we are not doing this thing with these other people. And our brain is just constantly creating this image of what these people are doing in our mind, when it could be something completely different. Like they could be sitting around bored drinking their cocktails, instead of what you think in your brain. You're thinking that they're having the greatest time of their life, when in essence it might not always be that way. It might not always be that way. All right, so the third way to get past FOMO is to find the advantage. Find your advantage. Okay, you're missing out on this party, this big night of drinking, your coworkers' extravaganza, whatever, but what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to get more sleep. You're going to read a good book. You're going to take a bath. You're going to do more self-care for yourself. You're going to meditate. Like, what? You have to find the advantage in this situation and be like, okay, what's the advantage to not going out? Okay, I don't have a hangover in the morning. I don't have to listen to that annoying coworker who I don't like. And see, it becomes, it's a shift of our perspective on it. So once we change the perspective on it and we learn to get comfortable with ourselves and being alone, and instead finding the advantage in being alone and say, okay, now I can finally work on this book I've been writing, or I can journal, or I can watch like a funny movie by myself, and I can watch whatever I want on Netflix. I can listen to music, I can dance around, I can work out because I haven't had time. So it becomes much easier for you if you shift the perspective. You make that switch in your mind, because, at the end of the day, well, not at the end of the day, but when tomorrow comes, tomorrow's a new day and everything's over with and everything's done with, and it doesn't really matter. It's not that important. So shift the perspective, get off the obsession, and do something you like to do. Take action towards something you like to do for yourself, and value yourself. See, when you always have FOMO, you always have this fear of missing out. That's all external of you. And it may show that you're not valuing yourself enough. You're not valuing self-care. But if you can get to a point where you value yourself and you love yourself, then you feel worthy of that time to yourself. And it is important to you, more important to you than going out on New Year's or going to that, I don't know, that event you weren't invited to or something like that. So you have to get past the triggers in your brain that you've always held, those subconscious beliefs in your mind that you've always held, and realize that it's really not that bad. It's not that bad. And you have to find the advantage in it, and that will help. All right, guys, so that is the meaning of FOMO and some ways that you can move or shift yourself in getting past this fear, this fake fear, the superficial fear that our brains just come up with out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere, but from our past, like when we were little kids. So, I hope it was helpful. Let me know in the comments below what you thought, and if you do have this issue. A lot of us do, myself included, like I said. And I hope you guys have a great day. All right, peace.